Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz, May 18, 2017 at 1:58 a.m. Birmingham. Topic is What's Under the Ice, Part 4. And I'm going to give you a description as Enoch is being carried to the south, and he describes what he sees on the way. But he's high in the sky. He's not like carried through the clouds. He's apparently way above them. But then he said, I then surveyed the receptacles of all the winds, perceiving that they contributed to adorn the whole creation and to preserve the foundations of the earth. I surveyed the stone which supports the corner of the earth. I also held the four winds which bear up the earth in the firmament of heaven, and I beheld the winds occupying the exalted sky arise in the midst of heaven and the earth, and constituting the pillars of heaven. And I saw the winds that turned the sky, which caused the orb of the sun and the stars to set, and over the earth I saw the winds which supported the clouds. Then I saw the paths of angels. Apparently there's a path that angels travel on a routine basis. And there's another thing, at 3 a.m., this is not here, wherever you are, 3 a.m. every morning is a time when God passes by, because he delights in riding on the backs of his cherubim around the world. It's a good time to pray if you're up at 3 a.m. And then I perceived at the extremity of the earth, the firmament of heaven above it. Then I passed on toward the south, though he's continued moving to the south, where burnt both by day and night 6 mountains formed the glorious stone, or glorious stones, 3 toward the east, 3 toward the south. Now, the guy, and I'm drawing a blank on him, it is, I'm trying to find out who he is. It is the Israeli News Live, Jewish Christian that has a study called The Fallen Angels in Prison in Antarctica and Are Still Alive. So he has some really good insight on this, and he has a good study on this. But he's continuing on Enoch to the south, and he sees these 6 mountains, but there's another mountain. Now, when you read in the Bible talking about the end days and talks about the 7 hills, could that be the Antarctica? Could the 7 hills be what's being described here? He sees the 6 mountains to the east and 6 to the south, but then describes another one that has a throne composed of alabaster on the top, and the top which is sapphire. I saw 2. A blazing fire hanging over the mountains, over all the mountains. And then he's again continuing south, and I saw a place on the other side of exalted territory where waters were collected. Likewise beheld terrestrial, yes, what it says, fountains deep in the fiery columns of heaven. In the columns of heaven I beheld fires which descended without number, but neither on high nor into the deep, but over the fountains. And I perceived a place which had neither the firmament or the heaven above it, nor the solid ground underneath it. Neither was water above, nor was anything on wing. In other words, this spot is desolate. There are no birds live there. No penguins get there. In the interior of the Antarctica, no life exists, except maybe under, well, even other than starfish and things like that, but even whales and porpoise and these things, they can't go there because it's too far. They can't hold the breath that long. They can't live in it forever. So it said clearly, it says right here that nothing, not the solid ground, nothing underneath it, neither was there water above it, nor anything on wing, no birds, but the spot was desolate. This is the spot where the angels are held. And he goes on and talks a little bit more about that. And again, I told you in chapter 20, he talks about the 7 or 6 angel names, rather, 1 through 7. But there's another interesting thing that I want to tell you that I just happened about, it popped in my mind. First, the aliens. Now, would it make sense that the largest alien base on this earth would be at the Antarctica? Why not? No man has ever set foot on that land until 1800, late 1800 or early 1900. Now, this is just on the outskirts. Nothing has yet been to the interior except now. And apparently what they found on the interior was terrifying. But yet, some people look at them as gods. As John Kerry did, looked upon them as gods. So it seems likely to me that this would be a great spot for evil beings other than these angels that are bound there. And there's some more angels that are bound there, by the way. And I made an error, and I'm going to clarify that in a second. But this is so desolate. No man has been there. So they'd be there. They've been there for what? Since the flood. Since, 4,700 years now. And they're about to be released. But there's one more. And this one is interesting. And let me find it. Okay. He's talking about, I've lost it, but he's talking about there are other angels there that are being punished. Here it is. There too I beheld 7 stars of heaven bound in it together, like the great mountains and like the blazing fire. I explain, for what species of crime have these been bound? And why, and this is Enoch asking this question, why have they been removed to this place? Because Enoch knew that these were the stars. Remember, God punished, I thought it was 1 star. Well, it was 1 star that moved at first, and he was put in timeout. Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who said, or who was with me, and who conducted me. In other words, he carried him to this place, Enoch. In Enoch, wherefore do you ask? Wherefore do you reason with yourself and anxiously inquire? These are those of the stars which have transgressed the commandment of the Most High God and are here bound until the infinite number of the days of their crimes be completed. So there are angels there that will not be in eternal judgment, but they have a number of days. And when that number is completed, then they'll come out. They have paid their dues. So that is chapter 21, verse 3. And very interesting. I mean, the whole thing is, so under the ice, guys, there's a lot going on. But remember, nothing has control of you if you rebuke it. No witches can control you if you rebuke them. Nothing can hurt you if you rebuke them. You have greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Remember that. These things are in the world. And just remember that. Because one day they're going to come out. But they cannot come out until the one who restrains them, the one who keeps them under lock and key is removed. And that is the Holy Spirit. And where is the Holy Spirit? He's in you and me. So we have to be taken out first before they can be released. And then they'll have but a short time left in that short time, they're going to create chaos and kill a third of all men. Jody with Expoz.